What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG. On today's show, we have a couple of different stories we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how the devs of Concord came out to talk about Marathon and said, and I quote, "We came up short, but please don't punish others for our mistakes." Former Concord dev defends Marathon amid online negativity. We'll go over that. Then we have Assassin's Creed Shadows in 2025's second best-selling game in the U.S., but there's no sales numbers, and we'll talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming out on PlayStation this week, okay? And Great Circle won't run at 4K 60 frames per second based on the PlayStation 5, so we'll talk about that as well. And then there's a leak going on that says PlayStation 6 Portable can definitely run a PlayStation 5 game, leaker clarifies. I don't know the first story of this, so maybe there's another story about there was a leak about a PlayStation 6 Portable. But and then we have other little stories here and there between Dragon Age, Bethesda leaking, not leaking, Bethesda potentially coming out with Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. So we'll talk about that as well. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much. Yeah, House. I went to his channel yesterday and congratulated him. Yeah. El Dente. The longest song we have is like 2 minutes and 53 seconds. It's like 3:05. Most of them are around 2 minutes, 2:30, 2:02. Like, they're pretty short. Some of them, most of them, I would say, are pretty short. Let's go on, chat. What's going on? Let me see. Let me scroll all the way back up. Michael Harrington, welcome to the channel. First 48, Travis. Jason, what's going on? Eclipse, Crowded House. Big Mad Mo, what's going on? Gaming Fire, good morning. Sarge, good morning. Wonder Rose, good morning. Who am I missing? If you guys hear some noise in the background, we have AC guys coming in today, and they're ripping out the air ducts and putting new stuff in, so you'll hear a bunch of noise in the background. It is what it is. The show must go on. El Dente, good morning. El Nini, good morning. All right. Let's start off with the, I guess, with the elephant in the room. I don't know. The first one here is we came up short, so please don't punish others for our mistakes. Former Concord dev defends Marathon amid online negativity. Look, we're all adults here, right? In what way, shape, or form would anyone hold a completely separate company for someone else's work from a separate game, completely separated, and think that because Concord failed, we are associating that this is Concord? Okay, we can make jokes and stuff and say this could be the next Concord, okay? But in no way, shape, or form, at least as an adult, no one would go, oh yeah, I hate this game because of Concord, right? It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense for me, chat. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right. So an artist who formerly worked on the failed Concord game is speaking out against naysayers who have already pronounced Bungie's new extraction shooter Marathon dead, serving as a reboot for Bungie's original 1994 Marathon series. Stop. Reboot has nothing to do with Marathon, okay, from 1994. At least the article got it correct. The game director said 1991 yesterday in an interview. The new multiplayer is a step outside a developer's comfort zone. Is it? It's PvP. The only thing you've done is made the extraction. Okay. Already having Halo and Destiny franchise under its belt, Marathon will focus on players versus player gameplay alongside loot extraction mechanics, and luckily, first-person shooter fans will be able to take advantage of the game's full cross-platform play. Interested players can now sign up on Marathon's closed alpha playtest, allow gamers to get hands-on experience before the game's launch, and the playtest will take place from April 23rd to May 4th. Okay, Bungie revealed that Marathon gameplay and release date is September 23rd. During the anticipated trailer, the gamers were quickly compare the game to Concord's failure. Defending Marathon as a former Concord artist called Mr. Sprung on Reddit shared a post on Marathon's subreddit commending Bungie for taking a chance. The artist noted that how gut-wrenching it was to see Concord failed, but it also applauded Bungie, encouraged them, encouraged gamers to not punish others for our mistakes. Chat, I'm asking you, are you looking at Marathon and going, well, Concord failed, so this is going to fail? Or are you looking at it going, Bungie's making an extraction shooter. Extraction shooters are a niche market, okay? And they're coming into a market that's saturated with other extraction shooters. I don't know. One is just saying, because you're a troll on the internet, saying, oh, Concord fails, so this is fail. And the other one is taking your brain, taking actual facts and stuff and put it together and go, yeah, you know what? This is coming into a market where it's kind of saturated. Not a lot of people play extraction shooters already. So this is going to be a little difficult for them to make it. Okay. Again, it says former Concord artist defended Marathon's reveal and Bungie's courage. Okay. Since the first-person shooter genre is an all-time high in 2025, yeah, first-person shooters are an all-time high. Because there's, 30 first-person shooter games out there, but none of them are above, right? There's one that's super high. Everything else is mediocre kind of player base because that's how it works, right? See, back in the day when Nintendo first came out and we had just Nintendo, there was no first-person shooters. It was just side-scrollers, and what it was, you could say side-scrollers were taken off because that's what everyone was playing. But then there was different genres introduced. And then the people that were just playing Mario went to go play other things. And the player base of Mario went down. But other games started going up. And then as the industry as a whole, you looked at it and said, oh, there's a bunch of people playing video games. Okay? You're taking a market of first-person shooters. You're taking it out of first-person shooters now. You're putting it into a subcategory of first-person shooter, PvP, PvPvE, extraction, battle royale, tactic, right? You're removing it and putting it into these subcategories within a genre itself. So to say that first-person shooters are popular, cool. But to say that, oh, well, because their first-person shooters are popular, obviously this extraction shooter is going to come in and it should be popular. It says such offerings, greater accessibility, and providing unique gameplay experiences set to apart from other shooters, like Escape from Tarkov. Thankfully, most Redditors had a positive reaction to Sprung's post, noting that people just love to be mad and spread hate these days. I always find this funny, right? Because the people that are criticizing a game, a movie, a book, whatever, they're criticizing and then giving you their thoughts, why they're mad or upset or why they think it's going to fail. But the people that are saying that people just like to be mad and hate things are the people that are mad and hate the people that are criticizing things. Okay? So it says another one user baffled by the gamers' discourse, unable to get their head around gamers thinking developers are part of some grand conspiracy to make intentionally unfun experiences. I don't think they're saying it's not unfun. I think they're saying that you're bringing a game into a market that you're charging $40 to $50 in an extraction genre, a subcategory of a subcategory, and that it's going to be really hard for them to succeed, right? I think a lot of people that are Bungie fans, Destiny fans in general, would have liked them to continue making Destiny. Now, I know there's a sub group of people making this game. There's 300 people, as Joe Ziegler said, just under 300 people making Marathon. And these could be separate people that were also making Destiny. But when they look at Bungie and they see what happened over the last 10 years with actual Destiny, what they did with Destiny 1, and then what they did for Destiny 2, and then how they continue to operate in Destiny 2, I think people are like, well, maybe you should have put your effort towards something else that you're actually good at instead of taking a chance. Now, I do applaud that any artist take a chance on something, but as we always say on this channel, make a game, sell a game, right? Don't decide to make a game and then yell at us because we don't like that game. There is no contract in any way, shape, or form that says that if you make something, we have to buy it as consumers. None, right? This is why it's very competitive. This is why there's thousands of games out there for you to choose to decide if I don't care if you're getting a relaxing simulator, if you're playing Power Wash Simulator. I don't care if you're driving a truck. I don't care if you're playing an RTS. I don't care if you're playing a first-person shooter extraction. You have money, and you decide what you want to do with that money. If you want to decide to get Brighter Shores, right? If you want to get a Doom, if you want to get Game Pass, that's up to you, the customer. But it's so ridiculous to think that because you look at a game and go, I don't like it, they're like, you're a fucking hater. You're a hater, and you shouldn't do this. They're trying their best. They're trying their best. You just gotta give them a chance. Like, calm down, okay? Everyone makes something, and some things work, and some things don't work. This potentially might not work, but then again, it might work, and people are just giving their opinions. Okay, that is it. That is it. Okay, it says despite its comparisons to Marvel's popular Guardians of the Galaxy, Concord sales were very poor. So poor they made about 25,000 copies. Okay, and the devs noted that certain aspects of the game did not roll out as intended. Okay, so again, I think this is dumb. Now, obviously, this person's allowed his opinion. Okay, but an ex-Concord dev saying, like, imagine making it about him, right? Imagine this. There's a separate company with 300 people in it making a completely separate game than Concord. Completely separate. Okay, and this guy comes out and be, well, just don't blame them because of our mistakes. Like, what are we talking about here? You have nothing to do with Bungie. You have zero to do with Bungie. You have zero to do with this company making this game. So to think that don't punish them because of our mistakes, what are we talking about? Way to go. Congratulations. You're not even here anymore, and you're making it about you, right? The audacity to come out and say, well, you're blaming this game for failure because of Concord is absolutely amazing. What do you guys think? Okay, do you think this is just absurd? I think it's absurd. Okay, if you like what I do here, right, check out the other videos. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. These are just my thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Chat, this is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, hold on a second. I'm missing chat here. We gotta bring you up. Gotta bring you up. There we go. All right, let's see what chat is saying. Let me scroll back up here. What's going on, Sen? Good morning. And Travis says 30. I'm not making the same mistakes. No, John. You're making the entirely new ones. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Crowded House says, listen, I believe that Bungie has something special planned for Marathon, but I think the game just isn't ready for Sony wants them to push it out. I mean, in that interview yesterday, right? In that interview that we saw yesterday, House, we can 100% make a justification listening to the director of the game being asked questions and not being able to answer these questions and kind of just giving word salad. You know what I mean? Someone lose their grandmother? My condolences. My condolences to you. Travis says 30. Yes, I'm just looking at the Final Fantasy for Borderlands, or the Final Fantasy for Borderlands 4. Like, WTF are we talking about here for two separate IPs? Yeah, it's amazing. I don't understand. Don't judge them based on our, like, no one's even thinking about you, Concord. You were here for 12 days. They forgot you on the 13th day. House says it also, I think it's a strong possibility that they go back on premium price tag. Perhaps. But again, it's as we say here in Orlando, there's a Disney tax. Okay? Just like in Nintendo, there's a a Nintendo tax, there's a Bungie tax here, and that's the price you have to pay. I see y'all turn. I'll say that in just a second. Let me just scroll down a little bit more. Eclipse says it sounds like a modern audience take. It's crazy how none of these games are so good. There must be not be many people part of the modern audience. I don't even think it has anything to do with the modern audience, though. Eclipse. It's like we're just judging it, going like what do you judge a video on? You look at it and go, it looks cool. I'll continue watching it. Oh, the story seems pretty interesting. I'm just going to watch it. If I stop watching something and then someone tells me that, well, you're a hater, it's like I didn't like it. I don't want to play it. I don't want to read it. I don't want to watch it. Sarge says no conspiracy here. We are 5 months out, and you can't describe the game to us. Yeah. We're going to work on it. Minimal viable product. We'll work on it. We'll work on it in 18, 24 months. Altered says they can make a PvE mode only. I hope they do, because the game looks interesting, but PvP only really kills it for me. Because majority of people don't like PvP games for an assortment of reasons. Cheaters, trash talkers, time, respect, like everything. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I loved PvP, right? I still love it. I still like playing Battlefield and stuff like that, okay? But I don't like that competitive thing. I like team sports more than individual type of thing. What's going on, Hemi? Kyle says it isn't fair. Isn't fair games an extraction shooter as well? Even with Marathon does well, why would the players leave to play fair games? Only distance to fail due to the other games. There's 4 other games coming out, Kylo, that are extraction shooters on top of this one, right? Last night in stream, they were saying a whole bunch of other games that were coming out that are extraction shooters. Arc Raiders is another extraction shooter that's coming out, right? That's coming out this year. El Nini says, make a bad game, you don't get sales, and you're out of the job. It's that easy. That goes with everything. Everything. Right? As simplistic as if I open up a lemonade stand on the side of the road and I don't make any sales, guess what? That's a failure. I don't yell at the cars going by, you racists, you didn't want to get lemonade from me? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's all about money. Hal says, I understand Bungie wanting to keep secrets and surprise and delight players. The problem is that they aren't in good position to do that right now. Players don't trust them anymore. Look, I'll just say this. No Man's Sky, okay? Sony had their backing of them monetarily, and they were publishing them at the time, okay? And they pushed them out way before their time. I'm just saying in the past, Sony has done this to other companies where they push a company out to push a game out before it's ready, okay? I hope the game's good. I hope it sells well. But in the landscape that we're in right now, I don't see it being very, very successful. I do see it having numbers. I do think it does better than Concord. I said it yesterday. It's only getting a Concord name drop because it's Sony as well. Well, no, it's getting a Concord name drop because people like this developer keep bringing it up, saying don't punish them for our. Why would one punish the other for something that's completely separate? Completely separate. They can't let it drop. Like the Concord devs, this is like the 4th article from Concord developers that can't believe that their game failed. This is not charity. Right, it's not a charity. Exactly right, El Nini. What's going on, Water Bear? The interview told us we all needed to know. It's going to be dog water, as Travis says. El Nini says, this is why I don't trust Western devs. You never hear this BS from Eastern Asian devs. No, you just make a product. You just make a product. Look, every day I go live. Every day I make a product, okay? Every day I put this out there. I have a conversation with people. Some day we have 60 people show up. Some days we have 30 people show up. Some days I have 1,000 people watch the video. Some days I have 200 people watch a video. Am I blaming that on people? No, I'm making content. People engage with content. They don't engage with other content. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. Altern, thank you for the gifted 5 memberships. 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate you very much. Roadkill says, I need to do a premium price tag of $15.99. First 48 says, I don't see GTA 6 releasing less than 2 months after Borderlands 4. Won't they hurt the sales by having to choose between the two for some? No, that's not going to hurt the sales. Look, when you got to look at GTA 6 as it's not the norm. It's the outlier. Okay, no matter what happens, no matter what game comes out. Okay, this game has sold over 220 million units over 12 years, meaning they're averaging 10 million, 20 million units, whatever it is. It's 11 years. I think it's 11 years, right? They're averaging 20 million units every year on this game. Okay, so it's so large that no matter what happens, GTA 6 is going to sell. People will find an additional $60, $70, $80, $100 to get this game because they're hyped about this game. Okay, the other game is Borderlands, right? It's that they are buying Grand Theft Auto 6, and they might pick up another game. So if people pick up Borderlands 4 ahead of time, they will still pick up Grand Theft Auto 6, especially if it's 2 months. You have plenty of time between the two. And it's 2K. They don't care. 2K, if they're going to get your money here or they're going to get your money there, it's like a 1-2 punch. Roadkill says the environment is just a bunch of storage units. Looks like a bunch of square boxes everywhere. It's sort of like what Battlefield looked like when they first came out with the maps. There was like bare, there was nothing around. And then as they upgraded the game over the next 12 months, 18 months, they started putting boxes inside the actual battlefield. Kyle says there needs to be a study on Fortnite and how many multiplayer model ruined every modern PvP shooter. Roka says, I don't think there's even the kids that are allowed to set up the lemonade stands anymore. It's like against the law. You have to have a license. I saw a kid. We went to a farmer's market about 2 weeks ago, and we were walking back to our car, and he wasn't there when we walked to the thing. But when we came back, he had a thing set up, smart by him because it was hot out at that point, and he set up his lemonade stand. And I literally said this to him, Roadkill. I go, I thought these were illegal, and the dad started laughing. He goes, yeah. He's like, we're only out here for a little bit. Right, so I bought 3 cups of lemonade from him. It was $1 a piece, right? And I gave him a 5. I said I appreciate the entrepreneurship. And the kid was so excited because he gave us lemonade, he forgot to give us ice. So then he opened up. He's like, "Oh, hold on a second." He had to be, I want to say 6 or 7 years old. And then he grabbed the ice cubes and he put 1 ice cube in. And his dad's like, you could give him a little bit more ice. It was funny. I was like, nah, it's perfect. I don't want to water it down. Altered says, to be fair, Marvel Avengers did have an after effect on the rest of the Marvel games. Guardians of the Galaxy, Midnight Suns, they were good games, but thanks to Avengers, they didn't do well. Same what happened with Marathon / Concord. Sure. But that's a brand. The brand is Marvel. What's the brand with Concord and Marathon? Both Sony? I mean, that would be really hard considering Marathon was in development before Sony picked it up. Concord was in development before Sony picked it up. So to put these two together, to think that they're linked in some way, shape, or form, Marvel has their hands in all of the games. Kyle says, I'm hoping Borderlands 4 holds me over until GTA 6. All right, I think we're caught up there. All right, so let's move up to the next one. This one makes me laugh, right? This one makes me laugh because this is a story non-story. A story non-story, okay, is about Assassin's Creed is 2025's second best-selling game in the U.S., right? Remember, they had to put the U.S. They had to put the U.S., not in the world, in the U.S., right? Because you gotta move the goalpost. Our goalpost is still obliterated, okay? You got to make sure you specifically say, like, like my channel is the largest channel in the demographic of people in the United States on the East Coast on a Tuesday at 10:27 a.m. Right? Like, you see what I'm saying? And the East Coast, right? You gotta really fine tune the actual thing. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows is 2025's second best selling game in the U.S. Now, if you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. We talk about news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, this is a non-story, and I'll tell you why. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows is 2025's second best-selling game in the U.S. The game trails only Monster Hunter Wilds. You see what they're trying to do here? They're trying to post, because we know the sales numbers of Monster Hunter, which they were very vocal about, saying it was 10 million units sold. Okay, so we know that number. We don't know Assassin's Creed's numbers because they've never said their sales numbers. They have said that they sold numbers of players, 3 million players in the first 7 days. Okay, so in the first week, they had 3 million players, but we don't know the sales. Okay, now we do know Split Fiction had 2 million sales in 1 week, and they had more than that, but in the U.S., not in the world, right? So Assassin's Creed Shadows in 2025, second best-selling game in the U.S. Let's continue. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the second best-selling game of the year, according to the data from Circana. Okay, the game trails only Monster Hunter Wilds in the overall year-to-date charts in the U.S. Circana's Matt Piscatella noted that Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the best-selling game in the U.S. for its first 3 weeks of the market. Where's the sales? Where's the sales? Just show the sales. This whole conversation's over. The conversation's over if you just show the sales, right? It's not a, it's the second best-selling game in the U.S. Trust me, bro. Show the sales, okay? While the game suffered a protracted development, which also included several delays, strong reviews and positive player sentiment have seamlessly turned the game into a modest hit for Ubisoft, okay? So Matt Piscatella over on Blue Sky, okay? And this is funny. Again, Blue Sky, which is, I think it's got like 30 million, 33 million people that are using the platform. Meanwhile, X has almost 700 million people using the platform. It says, here's a fun one, right? And I love the way it's written. Here's a fun one. Did you guys know Assassin's Creed Shadows has been best-selling video game in the U.S. for each of its first 3 weeks in the market? According to Circana's retail traffic service, dollar sales, latest data through April 5th. Where is the data? Just show the numbers. Show the numbers. The game was hit in the UK too, shifting more physical copies in 1 week than the fellow Ubisoft game, Star Wars Outlaws, managed in 3 months. That's not a good sign, by the way. By taking your own game and comparing it to your other shittier game that didn't sell well, because we do know Star Wars sold 1.5 million units in a month, okay? We don't know their sales after that because they only told us they only sold 1.5 million units in a month. So comparing it to that, what am I supposed to be like? Oh, well, you did beat that shitty game that didn't sell well. Assassin's Creed Shadows is also the biggest physical launch of the year, ahead of Monster Hunter Wilds, according to data provided by VGC. Shadows was a series' second best launch ever. Where? In the world? In the United States? Because this right here, Assassin's Creed, also the biggest physical launch of the year. This is the second best game in the United States, claimed, okay, in the first 3 weeks. But now you're telling me it's also the biggest physical launch of the year. Yet, no numbers. No numbers. Let's just keep saying stuff, okay? The game, which also launched on console and PC last week, marked the first major Ubisoft game to release day one on Steam since 2019. Previously, the publisher prioritized its own digital store as well as the Epic Game Store at launch. Now, let me read this again. The game, which launched on console and PC last week, marked the first major Ubisoft game to release day one in Steam since 2019. Didn't Star Wars Outlaws launch on Steam? or did not launch on Steam? Maybe it didn't launch on day one. Maybe it came after. Okay. VGC's Assassin's Creed Shadows review, he wrote, with excellent gameplay, compelling narrative, and massive, beautiful world to explore, it's much better than many expected to be. Okay. Even if it's not the game that saves Ubisoft, it did exactly what it needed to do. Did it? We don't know the budget. The leaked budget is somewhere upwards of $350 to $400 million. Okay. Which means they have to sell 7 million copies. If that's the truth, right? If the truth is 350 million to 400 million copies that it needs to sell. I'm sorry, 350 to 400 million dollars was the budget, and it needs to sell about 7 to 8 million units. Without knowing the budget and then not showing us the sales, this is a fat zero. You can claim anything you want. Until you show us numbers, it doesn't matter. Now, it goes back both ways. It doesn't matter if it's a success or not for us, because we're not the ones. You're the ones bragging about it. You're the ones bragging about the 1 million. You're players. You're the ones bragging about the 2 million players. You're the ones bragging about the 3 million players. But yet they went completely silent after the first week. They haven't said anything after the 3 million players. There is no data to the public in any way, shape, or form. And Mr. Matt Pescatella here says that he has the data, but yet doesn't show the data. So how are we supposed to take? He might be correct, 100% correct. But am I supposed to just trust anyone that just says something and say, trust me, bro? You got to show the data, okay? So even if it's not the game that saves Ubisoft, okay, it did exactly what it needed to do. Did it? Bringing the confidence back to the modern gaming biggest and most troubled franchise. Let me tell you something. If this was selling well, you could go look at the stock market right now for Ubisoft, and did it go up or down? Because if it was selling well, that number would be going up. If it didn't sell well, then it would stay where it is or go down. Okay. Shadows also arrived during a pivotal moment for the publisher Ubisoft following several underperforming releases and worsening financial outlook. Ubisoft said in January it was taking decisive steps to reshape the company and actively explore various strategic and capitalistic options to unlock a full value potential in assets. Don't you love that they hype it up, right? Look at the structure of the article. Okay. Now, obviously, Matt Piscatella didn't write the article. He just wrote the tweet, right? Mr. VGC here wrote the article. They start off by telling you that Monster Hunter, we know that price because it's 10 million units, right? And they raise it up and they say Assassin's Creed is the second best selling in the U.S., right? Let's shrink that down, right? Then they hype it up even more. Well, it did better than Star Wars Outlaw did in 3 months. Okay. Oh, it's got the most physical sales. It also did well in the UK. But then here at the bottom, the last 2 paragraphs, right? They're putting stipulations. Well, even if it's not the game that Ubisoft needed, it did exactly what it needed to do. It brings confidence. Does it bring confidence? Because the stock price is not going up. I don't see confidence there. Okay. And then Shadows also arrived during a pivotal moment when they were all having trouble. Okay. Listen. I personally don't care if Assassin's Creed Shadows sells 15 million copies. I don't, right? It could be the most successful game that Ubisoft has ever done. The fact that people pick a side and are like rooting it for it like it's a sports team is just silly to me. I don't care. I look at facts, and there is no facts here. The facts that we know is it's got 3 million players playing the game. We do not know sales numbers at all. We do not know the amount of people buying it or playing it, okay, over on Ubisoft Plus. We have no sales data in the physical copies, digital copies, GameStop, US, UK, doesn't matter. There is no numbers, and yet people are coming out saying it's the second best-selling game. Show us proof. Just show the actual number and the end of story. But they don't do it that way. They do it because it's all bullshit. They do this to get clicks. They do this to pretend that you're a hater. They do this for all these reasons other than just telling you the numbers of the actual game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Assassin's Creed being the second biggest game in the U.S. up to this point in the last 3 weeks of 2025 in the month of March. Okay? Let me know what your comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat what you guys think about this. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. It's freaking ridiculous, chat. They must work for Bungie with these twisting these words. It's so ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous. I am the largest channel on YouTube in Paraguay. It's like, okay, but can you show me those numbers? Well, no. Now that you're asking, no, I can't show you those numbers. Don't ask. Just consume. Right? Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. It's the second best-selling game in the United States, okay? You don't trust me? You're a hater. I just want proof. I just want proof. Here, look. Look, I got 1,000. I got 1,000 of these right here. 1,000 $20 bills. $20 bills are here, right? There it is. Just trust me. Just trust me. There's 20 of them here, right? 1,000 of them. $20 bills. Just trust me. You want me to show you? I can't show you because if I show you, then you would know I don't have $20 bills there. Altered says, "Thank God the report is in blue sky. If it got huge, it would also been a lot of more misinformation. But since only 5 people saw it, it won't affect anyone." Waiting to see the Nintendo announce the sales of $80 games. Look, first, if they announce the actual sales of the games, congratulations. Just announce the actual sales. But if Nintendo comes out and says, "Trust us, bro, we have a lot of sales," without showing us sales numbers, then why tell us sales numbers at all? Right? Why tell us about sales if you're not going to show us the sales? Because the sales actually help push and promote things. Oh, well, they say it sold well, so it must be good, so I have to go out and buy it. Yeah, Sarge, trust me, bro. Trust me. Eclipse says they're saying it's good because the best current player in the Assassin's Creed on Steam only beats Odyssey by like 4,000 players, and Odyssey came out like 7 years ago. I mean, okay. Z says it's just like political news. It's all propaganda. It's amazing. Sarge says it's got to sell well as much before those numbers come out. Right? It has to. And look, if it comes out 7 years from now and all of a sudden they're like, Assassin's Creed Shadows finally broke over this amount of money, and we're like, hey, finally made a profit. It finally made its money back. You know what I mean? Feels Good Man says, is this a magic trick? No, this is a magic trick. Are you ready? There's my thumb. Woo. Woo. Look at that. There's the magic trick. Feels good, man. First 48 says you couldn't roll $1,020 bills. Don't say facts like that. First 48. Don't say facts like that. You can't prove there's not $1,020 bills here. You can't prove it. Okay? Just trust me, bro. Just trust me. It's the camera. It's the angle of the camera. Oh, you want me to show you the side of this? I can't. All right, here. I'll show you the side. Ready? You see? You see? There's 1,000 there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So there's that stupid news today. Yeah, we have a story about the Dragon Age, not Dragon Age, sorry, the Bethesda stuff. Why is it broken? Because people like to move it so much, it just obliterated. There's no goalpost anymore, Sarge. It's just absolutely shattered. Yeah, I had more concurrent people watch my magic trick than actually Concord did. It's amazing. All right, next story. Next story is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle won't run at 4K 60 frames per second on the base PlayStation 5. Okay, the feature coming from the PlayStation player Indiana Jones and the Great Circle have been revealed that with the PlayStation 5 Pro achieving a native 4K resolution. Where's the stories that ran where they were going to make the worst version, right? Make the worst version for them. Okay. It says, ahead of the release next week, PlayStation has revealed that the set enhancements Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be getting on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. Okay. Writing a new update in the official PlayStation blog, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be releasing on both the PlayStation 5 console and the DualSense controller features such as haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, which also addition to lightsaber, I'll be okay. Light bar on the controller being linked. I just saw a Star Wars thing in front of me, and that's why I said lightsaber. Controller being linked into the Indy's current status. For example, if Indy enters combat with the LED light around the touchpad, it will turn yellow or pulse red if Indy's stealth or health gets low. As performance of PlayStation writes, the title benefits from SSD optimization and frictionless. I'll be okay today, guys. Loading that's also paired with the also stable 60 frames per second on the high quality resolution. Okay. The blog post confirms that both consoles will use ray tracing features, including the global illumination of the greater lighting details. As for the PlayStation 5 Pro, the blog post states that they will also be able to achieve higher and more consistent frame rates, along with the image clarity. The article specifically states that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will run at 4K native resolution with advanced ray tracing on the PlayStation 5 Pro. The blog post doesn't state that the frame rate on PlayStation 5 Pro will be 60 frames per second at native 4K with advanced ray tracing, but I'm certainly hoping so, especially considering the blog post states that the PlayStation 5 Pro will also be able to achieve higher and more consistent frame rates, and the base PlayStation 5 is able to achieve 60 frames per second with high-quality resolution, with the presumably a resolution between 2560 and 1440 at 4K 3840 by 2160. So playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle at native 4K resolution really is the best way to appreciate the level of detail in the Teams and Machine Games has poured into our every corner of this world, says production director John Jennings. You can also spend hours just walking around the different environments, admiring every little thing from each artifact from Marshall College. Impressive. Look, it's a beautiful game when I played it. It's a beautiful game. So there you go. So it's running on the PlayStation 5, but not on the PlayStation. PlayStation 5 Pro, but not the regular PlayStation 5 at that resolution. Obviously, I think this game will be interesting because a lot of PlayStation, and I know they're two separate forums, right? I know there's the hardcore PlayStation guys that don't want anything Xbox, so make sure you don't see any of them playing the game, okay? But there's everybody else that's just a gamer that happens to have a PlayStation that wants to play the game, right? We do know, we went over a story about 2 weeks ago that Indiana Jones Great Circle and Forza Horizon 5 are both up on the pre-order charts over on the Xbox, or I'm sorry, over on the PlayStation itself. So, hopefully it'll sell a couple more million copies over there for Xbox. So then they sold it over here. They sold it on PC, and now they're selling it on PlayStation. And we'll see what happens when it comes out. Because this week, more and more people will start playing Indiana Jones. And look, if you hate a game because it's owned by one company or another, is just silly. The game is actually really good. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, if you're an 80s kid, and you watched all the Indiana Jones films, this is the fourth movie. Don't ever watch Crystal Skull. Don't ever watch the Dial of Destiny, I think that's what it's called. This is the fourth installment in the Indiana Jones series. So make sure, if you like Indiana Jones, give it a shot, man. It's totally worth it. It's a very good game. If you like puzzles, by the way, it's a puzzle-rich game. Although there's the companion that will ruin it for you if you don't figure it out fast enough. Why don't you pull this lever? Why don't you come over here and pull this lever? You come down here and pull this lever? Shut up. Shut up. Roadkill says you just need to hold a lightsaber in your hand. It'll reset your mind. Really? All right, hold on. This fucking thing's heavy. This is Cal Kestis's lightsaber. This thing's got about, feels like about 2 pounds. I don't have the insert. I don't have the blade. I don't have the blade. Yeah, it's a thick saber. Titan says more games, more platforms. It's a win. That's right. It's better on the PlayStation Pro. Well, it's actually better on the PC, Roadkill, because this PCs are more powerful than the PlayStation Pro. So you can run the story like Matt Pescatella, but facts are that the actual Indiana Jones would be better on the PC. It doesn't run or look better on the PC. It does if you have the actual. If you actually have the stuff, your actual words, is true on my PC. On my PC. The Crystal 30, not Blade. -5 nerd points. Sorry. Technically, you could buy the Crystal. Technically, you could buy the Crystal to put into the thing, and you can also buy the Blade. So -5 points for you not knowing that the is a Blade that they actually sell, and they actually is a Crystal that you put in the lightsaber. 0 points for Slytherin. Because when you go, you can actually buy the Blade. So you are correct in the lore of Star Wars, but I am the correct person in the lore of real life when they actually sell you stuff in a store. Roadkill says, yeah, they need the Crystal and the Blade. That's where the power is. This is also reset comes from the Crystal. That's right. Yeah. When you go to the store, you got to buy the Blade. You can buy the Crystal as well. Same for the portal, by the way. What's going on, Argus? All right, next story. Let's talk about Bethesda. This came out 2 hours ago, so I don't know if there's a new story. New story. Okay, we cover news stories here. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. Eclipse says, I ran the game at 120 frames per second in 4K, so maybe it does. Yeah, maybe Eclipse. Again, I don't know. I don't have to show facts anymore, right? Nobody has to show facts. You can just say shit. 2025. So Xbox and Bethesda are supposedly going to shadow drop an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake. If we're talking about it, is it considered a shadow drop anymore? There's the question for you, chat. If we're talking about it right now through an article, is that actually a shadow drop? I don't think it is. Because if we know about it and we're talking about it, then it can no longer be a shadow drop. A shadow drop means that, I guess from a business standpoint, they could shadow drop it. But if we know about it, like we knew nothing, okay, about Hi-Fi Rush. Like nothing. There was like an article that maybe someone passed by, maybe it was on Blue Sky at one point, okay? No one knew about it. And then all of a sudden they're like, boom, Hi-Fi Rush. We're like, oh, and then everyone thought like that was a new standard. Shadow drop. There hasn't been any shadow drops because people leak it ahead of time, which negates the shadow dropping mentality, okay? So there's so much smoke at this point that there has to be a fire somewhere, but the buildup to one of the industry's worst kept secrets doesn't make a lot of sense, okay? So it says, for a while now, there have been rumors of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is getting some sort of remake. If I recall correctly, it's initially leaked at NVIDIA documents some years ago. It was mentioned again that FTC's documents leaked during the Xbox Activision acquisition court case. And then throughout this year, various rumors from the reliable tipsters of Nate the Hate has suggested that it's coming sooner rather than later. Okay. Now, highly regarded elite journo Jeff Grubb is also reiterated that it's his stamp of approval of the rumor during a recent Giant Bomb show. Okay, so basically last week of this month, next week essentially, this month, April, okay, the Oblivion remake should shadow drop. Then I've also gotten separate confirmation that it's going to be the case. So it will shadow drop last week of the month. It says, I've checked in with some of my own sources and who collaborated above the information too. Although we've been unable to get enough independent sources, I've confidentially put a report on my own out there. But Jeff Grubb and Nate the Hate don't miss. A couple of the FTC documents previously leaked from former supporter employees and other rumors. It's also fair to assume that there's also enough smoke to fuel the flame of this one. But why? Is this one of the reasons publishers undoubtedly hate leaks at the end of the day? Yeah, you ruined it, right? It's like buying a gift for somebody. Like a shadow drop is like Christmas or birthdays. Like you don't know what they're getting you, and someone hands you a gift. You're like, what could it be? And you rip it open. You're like, oh my God, they shadow dropped this toy on my lap. Instead, they hand you the gift, and they tell you it's a truck. It's a shirt. Right? Like they tell you it before, and they're like, You open it up and you're like, oh, it's a truck. And you're like, shadow drop. And that's not really a shadow drop, right? It's not a shadow drop. For those who don't know, Oblivion is something of a legend, another landmark RPG of Bethesda's canon, building on Morrowind and preceding its similarity legendary Skyrim. Oblivion was the first experience with truly open RPGs since the days of isometric CRPGs, and it's also quite fully blown away. Now, the game revolves around cults opening up the portals of Elder Scrolls, okay, and all around the Imperial homelands, okay, which is why in question the virtue of the shadow dropping is a legend like without any real build up of the marketing. Oblivion already, well, Todd Howard said in the past that he would like to just drop it as quick as possible, right? Not saying anything to anyone and then just dropping. He said about a week. So Oblivion's already got some de facto enhancements on the Xbox Series X and S, thanks to things of FPS boost, backwards compatibility, but other rumors have suggested that the full Unreal Engine enhancement remake is a partnership with, is it Virtuos? It says Virtuos has also worked on supported studios and a huge variety of projects, including Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Sea of Thieves, and Age of Mythology Retold. A team is also working on Metal Gear Solid Delta, which also is absolutely phenomenal. It says if and when the Oblivion remake is reaching out the same levels of quality as Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, and isn't just a basic HD reskin kind of deal, doesn't deserve a full marketing blitz over the simple shadow drop. Sort of like what happened to Battlefield 1 and 2. The Collector's, what was it called that came out last year? Collector's Edition. No, it was Collector's something, right? That just kind of like, hey, we're doing this, and then the following week it came out, right? Or 2 weeks afterwards it came out. That's sort of like what they're doing here. Not really a big, huge graphical boost or anything like that. At least that's what they're saying. But like I said, this is why publishers don't like leaks. Perhaps it's a remake of a lower-key affair or not something that also demands a full marketing campaign in the vein of Metal Gear Solid Delta or Silent Hill 2. But given the previous rumors, it seems that most people are expecting to be something more impressive. Perhaps Oblivion is big enough and well-known enough for not also need introduction. Perhaps the Xbox Game Pass will do a heavy lifting with regard of virtuality. Okay. Stadia also launched. Perhaps the Xbox and Bethesda have something more interesting planned to celebrate the Oblivion remake launch. Maybe they could also be a couple with the gameplay's teaser for a long absence of Elder Scrolls 6. Either way, reach out to Microsoft and ZeniMax to comment, and they didn't comment. So there you go. So what do you guys think? Obviously, I think this is coming true, right? A lot of these guys, Nate the Hate and Jeff, they do say stuff, and most of the time, I would say, if not all the time, that when they do say something, it does come true. Now, I don't think this is a big, huge selling point, by the way. I don't think all of a sudden, like, millions and hundreds of millions of people are going to be like, oh, my God, and they're going to get, like, Game Pass for this. I do think this is another value proposition for people to maybe, like, if you are a Skyrim or Elder Scrolls fan, that this is one more thing. And if it does a graphical update like a Skyblivion. Now, I do want to say something a little weird here that coincidence, I don't know. You tell me. But Fallout update came out when the London thing came out, right? Which then screwed over the London guys that made Fallout London, okay? And then Fallout London came out like 3 months afterwards, right? And now Skyblivion is coming out real soon, which is a remake in the Unreal Engine in Oblivion with the Skyrim engine, okay? And now, don't you find it funny that Oblivion, if it is coming out either before or right, really close to Skyblivion? Coincidence? I don't know. I just find it really funny that, was it 2-3 times now that Bethesda has done this with modders, okay? When they're making games of either mods or expansions of their games, and then they come out with a game to compete with their game to kind of like push them off. Now, I don't think it's going to be the same situation as Fallout London because they're using the Unreal Engine for this. So they don't have to, it's not like a mod on top of where if they mess around with anything over here with Oblivion, it's going to mess with their stuff. But we'll see. We'll wait and see. Here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Are you excited for Oblivion coming back out if it is a remake? And are you expecting a graphically overhaul? I know 48 Gaming said there was something earlier in the chat about there's pictures leaked online or whatnot. Let me know what you think. Are you going to play it? Are you excited about this to play it once again with the upgraded graphics? Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. No, they didn't. They didn't stop them from making it. Sky Oblivion is coming out. We watched it a couple of months ago. Looks awesome. Looks awesome. No, Battlefront. Did I say Battlefield Titan? I meant to say Star Wars Battlefront. Classic Collection. Thank you, Akuta Papa. That's what it was. Yep. If the DLC is separate, people are going to snap. I mean, how are they going to snap? They're defending Nintendo for selling the DLC and the expansion pack for $10 on Nintendo. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying here. Ninja Gaiden was a shadow drop? Yes. Yes, it was. Because it came out the same day they said it, right, El Nini? You are correct. You are correct. John McCord says, Morning 30. This is a random. I watched Star Wars Episode 1 after many years, and it was not aged very well. Don't you agree? I watched it with my son a couple of months ago. I mean, as a Star Wars purist, I should say, I'll call myself that, right? I like the original 4, 5, and 6. I'm not a hater on episodes 1, 2, and 3, okay? But they're not as good. I didn't like them when they first came out, okay? I didn't really like them when they first came out. And when I watched it with my son, I kind of backed off a little bit. Like, I didn't hate it as much because I see it through different eyes. Like, I'm a curmudgeon old man when it comes to, like, Star Wars and how they shit on my Star Wars now. But episodes 1, 2, and 3 are not bad. I still like 3. Like, 3, in my order, I like Empire Strikes Back, Episode 3, Episode 4, right? So those are my top 3. Let's see. Altered says, at this point, surprised if someone snapped after the Nintendo Direct. Kyle says, me and my fiance got tickets to Revenge of the Sith in theaters next weekend. Oh, nice. Yeah, my son just asked me, he's like, why are they putting it back in theaters? I said, because people want to watch it in theaters. I was like, it's an experience to watch it in theaters. There's moments in episode 1, man. Like, pure cinema is when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they're in at Naboo, and they open the door, and that's the first time you see Darth Maul like in full blades come out. Like that's peak cinema right there, right? The soundtrack, like I can look at movies and take really good points from one. You know what I mean? Like I like certain aspects of certain movies. Waterberg minus points for me for calling it a blade earlier and then called it Return of the Sith. Don't throw stones at a glass house, Water. I know that was actually the original title, was it not? That was actually the first Star Wars you watched in theaters? Oh, episode 1? I want to say I watched Empire Strikes Back when I was a baby, but I think they did a re-release and we watched it, and then we watched Return of the Jedi. All right, we got another 2 stories. It's a light news story day. Let me see what else we got in the Discord here, because we're constantly getting stuff. You guys submit stories all the time. Wasn't there a story that PlayStation is raising prices by $50 and $40 in certain countries? Like what? PlayStation's going up in price. The number 1 selling console in the world, and they're raising the prices by $50 in certain regions. I don't think they're raising the price in the United States, but I think they're raising the price in certain countries. And they're also raising the price of PlayStation Premium as well. Because obviously, they've hit a saturation point. Kylo says, not yet. That's right, not yet. It's not the tariffs. Raising prices in the UK because the United States has tariffs is not a thing, right? If we charge for tariffs coming into our country, I know you know, Water, but you saying that, people will be like, oh, yeah, it is the tariffs. No, raising the prices in the UK has nothing to do with because we have tariffs in the United States. That's because people don't understand economics, right? They don't understand how businesses work and all this stuff. Titan says the disk drive was priced. The disk drive price was lowered. FYI. So wait, the disk drive price was lowered, but the diskless PlayStation raised in price. Here's the way I look at people, right? If someone wants to talk about politics and economies and stuff like that, they have to first fill out a check without looking online, okay? Without looking online, they have to fill out a check, okay? If they know how to fill out a check, then I'll listen to them. If they can't fill out a check, I don't want to hear a fucking word out of their mouth. If a person can fill out a check, then I'll listen to them. Doesn't mean they're right. Just means that they have to learn how to fill out a check. They'll look at it and go, what am I supposed to do with this? Wait, I have to write out the number? But I just wrote the number. What do I have to put on the back of the check? Kuda Papa says 30 need to be being back home. Economics and the firing range, high school. Yeah. Yes, 30 will listen to me. Yeah, you can fill out a check. There you go. I will listen to you. Man, I can't remember the last time I used a check. I don't get that. I don't get them. I just deposit them in the using mobile. I haven't filled out a check in a long time, but I know how to do it. I still have a checkbook. It's expired, I think. People don't understand how the credit card works, how they can understand a tariff. Yeah, they hear tariff. They're like, tariff. Like, what does that mean? Hey, I can fill out a check. That's the only thing that high school taught me for real life use. My son knows how to fill out a check. My son understands how to fill out a check. He understands that when we're at a restaurant, what to tip. Okay. We teach him all these things. We also, when we pay with cash, we ask him, what's the change, right? So he understands the actual thing. So that way, just by default, he'll be more smarter than anybody else that's in his age bracket because they won't understand how to do anything. To be like, well, how do you turn this page? It's not swiping. You should not listen unless they know what a slide rule is. Wait, you tip? Yeah, you don't tip where you are? I forget where you are, Altern. Fuck, it's getting out of control over here, Altern, about tipping. Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole here. Where I land, I do not know. But here I fall down the rabbit's hole. Oh, you guys couldn't even hear it. Oh, you could hear it. Okay. I thought the mic was muted for a second. Yeah, tipping is out of control here in the United States. I gotta tip doing my own things now. Right? Like, I'm surprised Chipotle just doesn't have, like, you order and you walk up to the thing and just start putting your own thing like a buffet. Right? That's what's gonna happen. Like, they asked me if I want to tip inside Walmart and Publix and all these other, like, supermarkets. Like, what? Why am I tipping you? I just bagged my groceries and stuff. What are we talking about? C says, no tip. In the U.S., you will go to federal prison. It's mandatory. You got to tip. I don't ever use any of these delivery services because I'll just get in my own car and go get it myself. Okay? But you got to tip before you get your food. You don't even know if your food's going to come. And I'm supposed to tip beforehand? Get out of here. Get out of here. Kyle says, I was at the airport in self-checkout. Asked for a tip for a bottle of water. I grabbed it, and I scanned and paid for, like, what? Yeah. Well, that's for your convenience. For convenience, Kylo. Trump is easing up, reserving tariffs on technology and parts. Like, anyway, he had a dinner with the NVIDIA heads, and he was like, I will forgive you. Kiss the ring. Yeah. Titan says, America sure loves the T word. Tips, tariffs, the president. That last one didn't really fit. Tips have been a thing before the president was here. Eclipse says, people expect you to tip your hairdresser. Now they want they want you to get paid good money. Like they find tipping and people also, and the government takes money from, but fuck that. Oh, yeah. You tip your hairdresser, you tip your the cleaner, you tip your server, you tip people tip their mailman here. Like every once in a while, we won't tip the mailman, but we'll give him gifts, right? Because it's the person that like delivers your mail, right? It's a nice thing to do. He's not asking for it, but like for Christmas, we'll give him like a gift bag or something. You know what I mean? Like thanks for doing your job, right? I don't think everyone's giving him a fucking gift, but right? We don't do cash money, but I'll go buy like gift cards and give my son's teachers like gift card for like Starbucks or whatever. There's a difference though for like not asking for a tip, right? Not asking for like a gift or something like that, and then constantly just like what did you do? You said hi to me. Why am I tipping you? Alton says, I never specific where I live. But, yeah, where I live, there are tips. There are tips, but they are super optional. Okay. No, here is tips. He says, many things in the industry causing price hikes. Why is it only Xbox and no competition? That's supposedly the reason. Yeah, it's the narrative or whatever they want to spin it, Z. Look, all this stuff, anytime they raise the price of a game, raise the price of the system, raise the price of the service, that Microsoft is just sitting here. They're like the safety net. Right? This is Bill Gates right now. Right? He's just catching all the stuff that's falling. People are like, I don't want to pay that much money for a console. Oh wait, I can play Game Pass on my television set for $10 for the month. All right, cool. We talking about tips? Tips. Yeah, we're talking about tips. Robert Jones has some tips. Like, don't piss in the wind. Right? That's a good tip. Yeah. We got this one right here. We got this Hogwarts Legacy Studio working on an online multiplayer RPG. Is this the same studio that made Hogwarts Legacy? The exact same studio that made Hogwarts Legacy? The one that's making Hogwarts Legacy 2? That same studio? If you guys like what we do here, we just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate you being here. Hit that like button. Let's get to, you know what? There's 30 of you here. Let's get to 30 likes. Can we get to 30 likes? I think we can get to 30 likes. Actually, you know what? Let's get to 29 likes and 1 dislike. Can we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy Studio working on online multiplayer RPG. In recent career listings from Warner Bros. Discovery, Avalanche Software, now that they are hiring for multiple positions to work on the new online multiplayer RPG, with many speculating that this is a in-development project that could also heavily rumored Hogwarts Legacy sequel. I'm so glad I made a whole bunch of videos on Hogwarts Legacy and how they should have made Hogwarts Legacy some sort of live service aspect of it or an online portion of it, like a Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to love to see this in a couple of years when they come out and say, I was right. The Wizarding World spin-off prequel, Hogwarts Legacy, was met with massive success upon launch. WB wouldn't let you know. They'll tell you that Suicide Squad bombed miserably, but they won't tell you that Hogwarts Legacy succeeded. And with the audience is asking for more Harry Potter content, these recent job postings may be good news for fans. One of the best-selling video games of 2023 was Hogwarts Legacy. Sees players creating custom characters and attending Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, while also uncovering the secrets of the social turmoil and the ancient magic. The game was also praised upon launch for its extensive magic system, open-world map, and original story. The audience quickly began wondering when development of the sequel might begin. After multiple hints and potential multiplayer entries, new career postings seem to indicate that another Hogwarts Legacy game may be on the way. According to several job listings, Warner Bros. Discovery and Avalanche Software are hiring a lead designer, game systems for online multiplayer RPG, a role accountabilities of detail of focusing on player progression, in-game economies, rewards, account systems, and game mechanics. And with further mention, the gameplay loop and meta system, skill trees, crafting, and additional monetization strategies. Rumors of Hogwarts Legacy's sequel making the move to multiplayer support, current speculations with RPG in question, may in fact be another Harry Potter game. Previously, job listings by Avalanche Software similar indicate that the studio is working on more Hogwarts Legacy content, which also prior postings specifically requiring a deep understanding of the Wizarding World. While there's also no official confirmation of the career or link to any way of the jobs or anything with Hogwarts Legacy related, they also already have sparked optimism amongst players. Optimism? I don't know if it's optimism. Look, if you're going to take Hogwarts Legacy, a successful game that sold 30 million copies, and you're going to shove microtransactions into that sequel, you're going to have a real big culture shock when it comes to it, because you're not going to sell as many as the first game, okay? If you do it the way that they want to do it. If you do it like the way that Rockstar does Grand Theft Auto, where you have the solo game and you have that regular game there, and then after the fact you have a online section, which is completely standalone from Hogwarts itself, but it's in that game, then that would make sense. But if you're going to go the route of trying to make a MMO type of thing, you're going to be sadly mistaken that you're going to be big in the beginning, but then it's going to fall off dramatically afterwards, because people are going to be like, we were worried about Hogwarts Legacy when you saw the timers. Okay, when you saw the timers, like, why is that there? Which still makes no sense. But anyway, it says, following the reports of unannounced Hogwarts Legacy DLC was canceled, many fans have been keeping their fingers crossed the alleged content would make its way into a full sequel. Avalanche Software has yet to announce any major new projects, so players are also hopeful in newly posted positions will be filling out roles to work with another Hogwarts Legacy. Whether Hogwarts Legacy 2 is currently in development or whether it's subtly revealed online multiplayer RPG remains to be seen, but it's also not be unheard to see such a popular title getting a sequel that will be making a leap to multiplayer. Demand for the Harry Potter video game continues to rise, with content additions to Harry Potter, Hogwarts Ministry, and also the release of Harry Potter Quidditch Championships, which actually failed miserably, fueling fans' hype for another long form of Hogwarts Legacy. Interested players can stay tuned in for updates and possibility of Hogwarts Legacy sequel and other Wizarding Worlds news. I don't think it's going to take as long, by the way, to make the second Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm saying this because the first one took about 6 to 8 years. But since they already made the game, they already had the skeleton and all the other stuff that they have to do with it. Obviously, like, maybe cut 2 years off, 3 years off, because you don't have to build that stuff from scratch. You just have to kind of make the new stuff within the engine itself. So I would say probably 2027 we start to see something. 2028, like, you start hearing stuff, I should say. 2028, they start showing stuff. And then by 2029, maybe like midway through the Harry Potter reboot on HBO. So I would say maybe 2029. So about 4 years from now, we'll actually maybe get a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If I'm streaming back until then, we'll know if I'm right or wrong. But let me know your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat what you guys think about the Hogwarts Legacy, what they should do with the online. Should they make it where it's part of, like a Rocksteady do with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, where it's part of the game? Or do you think they make a standalone game that is a multiplayer, like MMO type of thing? Let me know in the comment section. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our videos. Thanks for watching. First 48 says, I don't need an Xbox, though. That's where they messed up. No, that's the problem. You think they messed up because you don't need an Xbox. They're not trying to sell Xboxes. They're trying to sell you a subscription service. They're trying to sell you on the value of games, right? And you might be a customer that doesn't want to do that, and I totally get that. But that's not where they messed up. That's where they succeed. They're getting rid of the box. There's still boxes you can buy, but they're getting rid of the box. Kuda Papa says, it's not a mess up. Gaming is saturated on the console side. Consoles are losing people to PC and mobile, so widen the net for Microsoft's platform was a good idea. Exactly right. Yes, good for Microsoft, bad for Xbox brand. I don't know. I think what Call of Duty is doing to Call of Duty by putting skins in is a worse brand thing than what Xbox is doing to Xbox, if that makes sense, right? Like Call of Duty was a multiplayer game where you played, and but now they're turning it into Fortnite. I think that's more brand concerning than what Xbox is doing, because Xbox is about playing video games, and you're still doing that, right? Before, you were playing Xbox on a box, which you still can do. So I really don't think they're hurting their deal or their brand. I think they're actually extending that brand. Robert Jones says 48 and still gaming. Well, slow down. I'm 46. I'll be 47 next month. Hey, don't rush it. Don't rush it, Jones. Argus says, I get to ask for a tip at the restaurant when they drive there and pick up my own food. Why am I tipping the bartender to just hand me food that's sitting right there on the counter? Yeah, I don't tip for that. Oh, I know. I agree with you. I'm just saying that they don't care about Xbox anymore. That term though. They don't care about Xbox anymore. They still care about the box. They still care about the box because there's still people that are gonna buy the box. There's still people that, like myself, want a physical thing in the house. Right? There are people that are gonna buy a box, but they're opening up to everyone else that doesn't want to buy a box, that can't afford the $500 box, that they can just afford the $15, $20 actual, the actual service that they want. See, that's the thing. You're like blinders on. You're saying they ruin Xbox. They don't care about the box. No, take the blinders off. They still care about the box, but they're spreading it wider, a wider net, as you would say. Titan says Harry Potter show comes out next year, so the game will come out post season 1. That's too fast. That's too fast. I mean, I guess if they started working on it already, Titan, you could be right? If they've already started working on it before they said they worked on it, so let's say it's in production like already a year and a half, 2 years. Because Hogwarts Legacy came out in 2023. They were still working on the other versions for like Switch and the older versions till 2024. So I'm going to say, let's just say they started midway summer of last year, 6 months. I'll give you a year. So 2024 to 2025, 2025 to 2026, 2026 to 2027, 27 to 28. That's 4 years. So maybe it comes out in 2028. There's no way I see them coming out before that, if they're making a true version of a game. If it's DLC that they're going to throw out as a game, that's going to be much smaller. That's going to be much smaller than the original game that came out in 2023. Hogwarts Online, where you go on a heist for 4 more friends and with brooms will cost $3 million. Oh, wait, that's GTA Online. That would be hilarious. We're going on a heist mission with broomsticks. You'll be when that's what you're saying. When it comes out, I'll be 48. So 2 more years. So you're saying 2027 is going to come out? What did I say? 2029? What did I say? 2028? What is this? Dragon Age says BioWare, two major teams didn't get along. I don't care about that. We can talk about that later. There's a leak about the PlayStation 6 portable. I kind of don't want to talk about this yet. I'm like scrolling through it a little bit until this is more solid. You know what I mean? 4 to 5 years says development time. Yeah, and so if it started in 2024, I say 2028, 2029. We start hearing in 2027. You start hearing murmurs like we did before. We started hearing stuff in like 2021 about Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, we talked about the massive amount of sales. It's the second best-selling game in the existence of 2025 in the U.S. on a Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. That's what we talked about. So right now, I don't know if we're gonna go longer than we usually do. Right now we're at 11:30. I'll go to 12 because the AC guys are here and they've completely removed my whole air duct system. So we have no air conditioning in the house right now. So I have a fan that's blowing on me for the next 2 days. So it gets a little warm in here with the lights and stuff. First 48 says, I remember the hate that Hogwarts got for the trans character as well. Well, no, it got more hate before the game even came out because of what the author said that had nothing to do with the game. And then it got more hate because of the bartender. I think it was a bartender in the game, right? That gave like a quest. Ubisoft discounted Shadows during release. Makes sense. Yeah, that's why it's the number one. It's the second best selling game in the month of March on a Tuesday. Argus says, yeah, one aren't even remotely close to the PlayStation 6 coming out, nor even concept of it. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I don't want to talk about the portable because it's just like they have the Portal right now. That's a glorified cell phone without the cell phone functionality where you can play your games. And now, which obviously if the Portal came out, if the Portal that came out 2 years ago came out today, it would be a better machine than it was 2 years ago when it came out. Altern says, best-selling game in March at a Tuesday at 10 a.m. on a sunny day where there's no traffic on the streets. Well, we're getting a new AC unit. We're getting a new AC unit, and they're working on it for 3 days. So they tore out all the stuff. They're putting the new stuff in, but the air handler comes tomorrow. They hook that up tomorrow, and then hopefully tomorrow we get a So we're putting a brand new AC unit in. The people that were here before us, they built the house themselves. The house was built in like 1940, I think it's 42. I forget what it is. And so the man who lived here used to do all the construction himself. So he did all the wiring in the house. We have like slats and plaster on the walls. Okay, we have he did the air duct system, which was like sagging. We were losing so much air. Nothing is even in this house, right? Like there's not a square corner in the house. So we're slowly, fixing stuff in the house. Ray says the AC guy. I thought for a second you were talking about Assassin's Creed fanboys. No, the actual AC guy, the actual AC the guy. Yeah, PlayStation actually has a handheld, unlike Xbox. Just a part. Oh, here we go. Roadkill. I love when Roadkill does this. An actual handheld that you can't put any games in. You can't do anything, and you needed a Wi-Fi signal, but the Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough, and you have to own a PlayStation 5 to actually use the actual portal when you first bought it. You're absolutely right. Original handheld. I mean, I actually have an Xbox handheld right now and a PlayStation handheld. It's called my phone and a backbone. That's it. Yeah, he did it all himself. It's all cinder block, everything. First Raid says my house is 130 years old apartment building. We're made into a house. Nice. Yeah, lots of little things you find. We still have what are they called, knob and tube. So that's the next thing we're doing. So next week I might not have a show because we're trying to schedule electrician to come in and rewire the whole house. So Eclipse says you need a PlayStation 5 to play any of the games. Yeah, that's a handheld. Alter says I have an Xbox and a PlayStation handheld in my VR. I can have a 50-inch screen on it. My phone has a 6.8, 144 megahertz old display, best portable display for remote play. There you go. Yeah, we got metal. We got cast iron pipes in the house. We have knob and tube. We have slats in the walls. It's fantastic. We can't. So any picture, like that's not hanging on the wall behind me. It's like up on the thing and just leaning. Okay, like, and then all the other pictures in the house are like that double stick, like that super industrial like tape. That's what our pictures are hanging on the wall with. Oh, we're doing all that. We're doing all that. Ginger Prime says, happy Tuesday. What's going on, Ginger? Thank you very much for the support. Appreciate that. Yeah, knob and tube. That's what the cable's in a wrapping cloth. Or the wrapping cloth. Ginger, you're an expert at sales. Did you see the article? Are you going to talk about the article? Maybe not an article, but the Matt Piscatella talking about how Assassin's Creed Shadows the second best selling thing of 2025 in the U.S. on a Tuesday, with the wind blowing at 20 miles an hour. Yes, sir. Believe it or not, museum. Yeah, I've been on break from all video game news. But it does sound interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because they don't show any stats whatsoever about the sales. They just tell you, like, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Well, we had AC. We had AC in the house, Argus, but it was. If anyone knows about AC, the ducts and stuff that were put in the house, there was a lot of sag in them, and they were on the ground. And you don't ever want them on on your ceiling, like on the rafters. You want it raised up in the air, because what happens is the moisture and the condensation hits it, and then it backs up into the system, and then it starts to mess with the system. So we're getting all that. We're getting all that taken care of. If you told me they sold 3 million, I wouldn't be surprised. However, the question to me is not about the total sales; it's what they sold versus what they cost to make. Right. And here's the thing: they never even said anything about the actual sales numbers. They said that there was 3 million players in the first week. Okay, and what I don't like is that they use Monster Hunter to kind of uplift them as the article, at least VGC, the article they wrote, is because we know that Monster Hunter sold 10 million units because that's what they told us. And yet they say, well, only behind Monster Hunter. So they don't say in the article that they sold 10 million, but they just say 10 million units. You know, we know that they sold 10 million units, and they're the second best game behind Monster Hunter. So we're going to assume that, well, since Monster Hunter sold 10 million units, they must have sold millions and millions of copies. But they never tell us the amount of copies they sold, right? And then we do know Split Fiction sold 2 million copies in the first week. Okay, so we don't know the sales after that, but we do know they sold 2 million in the first week. We know AC Shadows had 3 million players, but not sales. And then we know Monster Hunter sold 10 million units. Well, exactly right. If it's fun, the reason we bring it up is because if they're going to talk about sales, then show sales. How in the world did you do that? Is that the StreamYard thing or something else going on? Oh, you're talking about me picking the name at the bottom? It's called Stream Ninja or Ninja. Hold on, Social Ninja. Social Stream Ninja. First 48 says Shadows of technically a beautiful game. It just has a crap story. Yeah, see, where I come from, First 48, is that I'm not giving shit to the game for what it did or what it didn't do and how it insulted people in Japan. And I mean, even the actress that played the main character in the game came out and said that she was upset that they were doing the things that they did in the game, right? So, and she's from Japan. But my issue is if you're going to brag about numbers, then you have to show the numbers. You can't say, like I said earlier, I can't tell you that my YouTube stream is the most watched YouTube stream on a Tuesday at what time is it? 11:37 on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like they're making the parameters smaller and smaller and smaller. So what they say seems like it's truthful, but it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's bullshit, right? Robert Jones says, I feel like the sales go out the window when you have Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus. Well, right. I mean, there's going to be a spillover, right? So, for instance, I played Minecraft Dungeons on Game Pass first, right? But then I liked it so much, I bought the game, right? So there's things like that where people will buy the game after they play it. Maybe they want to own it and they buy it and put it on their library. Or maybe people just want to just play it and never touch it again. So there is like a spillover. I don't know what that percentage would be from like how many people played it and then purchased it after the fact. Alter says, really? The actress was upset? Yeah, the actress came out. I think we read it. Did we read it on GXG last week or 2 weeks ago? She came out and said she didn't like. Oh no, it was a story last week, but we didn't talk about it. So it was a story last week that the actress was in an interview and she said that over in Japan, that would never happen. They would never desecrate the shrines and whatnot. And having that in a video game was very sad for her because that would never happen. Krabby says that's how. Like I had, Travis doesn't tell us why he got banned by Sony or what number friend he's talking about. I have a feeling it could be number 3 friend or number 5 friend. Yeah. Yeah, it's just silly, Argus. It's silly because it's like if you're gonna, and again, Shadows and Ubisoft didn't come out to brag about the numbers. Right? Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky said that they're number 2 best-selling in the U.S., but yet doesn't have any numbers to show for it. Right? And then VGC writes an article based off of his social post, and now we're in a conversation about, well, it's the second best-selling game in the United States. Okay. Digitally, physical. Right? First, we need to know the budget. If the budget's 400 million, then they need to sell 7 million copies. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. If it's 300 million, they need to sell 7 million copies. If it's $400 million budget, they need to sell about 8 million copies. Okay. If you don't know the budget and you don't know the sales, then we don't know shit. You can make an assumption based on it, but if I go to Steam charts right now, okay, not saying the Steam charts is the one all be all. There's no way in hell, okay, there's no way in hell that they're the second best, right, in the world, let alone, right, second best in the United States. Sure, second best in the United States, digital, physical, total, like, what is it? They don't tell you. Yeah, it makes it more opaque. Exactly. Right? And I'm not saying because it only has 64,000 people. This doesn't mean the amount of people they played, right? They have an average. And we watched Ginger Prime's video last year talking about Veilguard, right? And he was like spot on with his timesing and stuff like that, right? Like, look at this. It's saying about 627,000 people, right? Let's just double that. Let's double that. Triple it because of console or whatever. Okay. We got 1.8, 2 million bought. August says, your statement or opinion is automatically mute to me if you can't make it on Blue Sky. Just, if it's from Blue Sky, it doesn't even affect you anymore, huh? Waterbear says, I'm going to say it's probably sold about 1.5 to 2 million copies. I would say that if they have 3 million players, I would say about another 2 million people bought it, right? Which is fine. So I think they sold about 2 million, and there's about 5 million people playing the game total. Ginger says, I can see the 3 based on the IP alone, because we all know there are gamers who also don't follow the discussion, and they just want to go on and that series and now buy. Sure, absolutely. And I'll say about 2.5 that bought it, and then with the other 3 million players, but that player number includes the people that bought it, right? Ginger says, yep, I'm able to really get the real number, but also great at being called a liar until it turns out people find out that I'm not lying. Yeah, well, that's called facts, right? Right? People don't believe facts. They believe not facts, and they run with it. Yeah, we watched your video last year with Veilguard, right? And I've had different predictions of stuff like that, and you break it down. I liked it that your video broke it down, because you say what the multiplier is and whatnot. And someone just did it recently with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we watched that as well. And I think they're spot on as well. That's because math doesn't lie. August says, I don't even pay attention to people that went on to Blue Sky. It's far left insane people. Ginger says, the math is super simple, too. Anyone could come up with it and the number. I just do the work. Right. You show your work. You show your work. I just think it's funny that people are denial. They're in denial about a lot of stuff because their passion for something comes in place of what the actual facts are, right? Like if you're an Assassin's Creed fan and someone's talking bad about Assassin's Creed, you're going to be like, nah, it's not true. Same thing. This is what happens with the console wars. The console wars happen the same way because they're passionate. And if I call one box bad to the other, the person that spent their hard-earned money on that feels like I'm insulting them because they chose to spend their money on that device or that game or that movie or whatever it is. Ubisoft should have followed in Bungie's footsteps and said our game isn't for everyone because that helps sales for the company that needs a win. You know what we didn't do earlier? What is... Let's see. What is Ubisoft's... What's Ubisoft's stock price? What's their no. Is it $2.08? Is that what it is right now? Right? Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is bad, right? The little bumps here, sure, it went back up, but this is bad. This is not good, right? if Ubisoft stock was going up dramatically, okay, when did it come out? The game came out end of March, right? So right when the game came out, the stocks basically crashed. Right? So someone try to explain this to me. How can a game sell so well, but yet the stock of the company is in the toilet? Just if you know nothing about finances, you know nothing about economics, you know nothing about anything, how is the game selling so well and so beloved, yet the stock price of Ubisoft is in the shitter? They just got a huge investment, $1.3 billion. Ray says, "I love South of Midnight. Yet I will not lie on how poorly it did." And that right there, you get my respect, Ray. Because if you defended the game because you liked it or loved it, and if I say the game bombed, right? If I say the game bombed, here we'll go to the South of Midnight, right? Now, obviously, South of Midnight on Steam, not a indicator of what is it, South of Midnight, right? Not to say that this game, because of this, is that there's no one playing, right? But if you look at this, you can't tell me this is a successful game as far as the numbers go. Now, we don't know the budget of the game. If the budget of the game was like $50 million and they have it about, they have, let's say, 200,000 people that bought it, right, on PC, and then maybe 200,000 on the console or whatever, and then whatever they got from Game Pass, it could be successful. But looking at the charts of the actual people that played it, not many people played it. Not many people played it. We playing Jeopardy now? Argus says, I feel like they kind of did that in one of their statements, though, right? Waterbear says, you mean 1 + 1 = 230? Who would have thunk it? The game isn't doing as good as they hoped. Players now look. I think Assassin's Creed could sell what they wanted, but it's going to be heavily discounted, meaning you got to pay more for it. They can make money off of it, off the microtransactions. They can make money from the people buying it, whatever. Down the road, it can make money, but right now, the numbers don't show it. Feels good, man. Says Ubisoft needed to bring back Splinter Cell instead of fucking out Assassin. I don't know if Splinter Cell would do as well. Now, I agree with you, Feels. I would love another Splinter Cell. I love the series. I don't know if it would sell well right now. I love the Splinter Cell stuff. I just don't know if that franchise would pull big numbers. They would have to keep... Look, if they can make games back into reality under $100 million, $120 million, then yeah, bring out that game. But if you bring out that game and it costs $300 million, that's not making its money back. See, I don't even know if you bring back a remake. I don't think enough people are interested in it. I think it's such a niche thing. It would have to be somewhat competent budget. So are Ubisoft cooked? Yeah, that's why they sold the 3 biggest franchises, or didn't sell. This is why they moved them over to a new subsidiary and asked for $1.4 billion from Tencent, because they need the cash. Journalists will push Shadows onto the Game of the World stage or Game of the Year stage. There's got to be 6 games more popular than that game coming out, Krebsy. I mean, Blueprints and Split Fiction, I think, could both be on the list. Okay, then you have, if Grand Theft Auto comes out, you have that, right? Then you have Monster Hunter potentially could be up there, but it's got the PC port was terrible, okay? But the game itself could be up there. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of games, and we're only in April. Bill Prime Gaming, thank you very much. Welcome to the Goon Squad. Appreciate it. Argus says if Tencent didn't save them, they likely would have had to sell the whole company. I still think they're going to sell. I think they're still going to sell other IPs off, Argus. I think this is the first step for Ubisoft to kind of save themselves for just a little bit longer, buy some time to see what they can do. South of Midnight needed at least an award. I think South of Midnight can get for art design. I think the music, it could be nominated for music and stuff like that. It's definitely not in the running for Game of the Year. GTA 6 release, no games beating it in Game of the Year. Oh, if GTA 6 releases no games beating it. As far as I'll be honest with you. I think Split Fiction can beat Grand Theft Auto. Split Fiction can beat Grand Theft Auto. We're not talking sales here. We're talking about a competent game. What Split Fiction did and what they do design-wise is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal game. I really feel like Expedition 33 will be in the running just based off of what we saw. And the turn-based isn't really my thing, but I'm going to play it. Argus says, yeah, they have to sell the most valuable assets, just not get integrated into another company. We will also have to see how long they can hold out. Right. Robert Jones says, Expedition 33, best RPG this year, probably. Yeah, I would say that. Right? It's a banger of a year. There's a lot of games coming out that we didn't even know about. Or I wasn't expecting. Eclipse says, I don't think South of Midnight did horrible. There are other games only had like 4,000 people peak on Steam when it came out. These conversations that we always have, Eclipse, it's always hard to say what a game does when it comes out on Game Pass or it comes out on Ubisoft Plus, right? Because we don't know the sales of these things. So obviously, if you could see, you could maybe look at the percentage of people that have achievements on the game. Do you know what I mean? But you would have to still know the number of how many Game Pass users there are, which we don't know a solid number on. Right? Because if we knew, I guess you could say there's 33 million people or 35 million people, whatever, on Game Pass, right? And you could say that the achievement, let's say it's rough, but let's say it's at like 73%, right? 73% of that early on achievement, you'd be like, oh, that's how many people tried the game out of this many people, right? Right? You look on the early achievement list to see how many people are playing and hit that achievement, and you're like, okay, but you still have to have a number. You still have to have a number. And that number that we have is like 30, I think it's like 33 million Game Pass users, right? And then you can also correlate that with on Steam, if the Steam numbers, right? So you can look at how many people bought it, to how many people are playing it percentage-wise, even if they try it, right? If they only come on Game Pass and they try it for just this 1 month, it still happens. So let's say they pay $20, right? That's $20. And they only play that game. That's $20 that only went towards Midnight Suns. Not Midnight Suns. Sorry, South of Midnight. Too many Midnights with Suns in it. Ginger says, yeah, if you got to track the achievements, you can get a good idea on the console players. But this is why they don't share any numbers. Because math doesn't lie, and if they share any numbers in any way, shape, or form, you could figure it out. Bishop Void says, Mind's Eye is made from former Rockstar developers. I didn't know that until the other day. Yeah, but the way I look at when you have to tell people that this game was made by these people, I'm a little sussed about it, right? Because they're correlating it of, well, they made this game, so that means this game is like that game. And I got to see more. I got to see more about that game. I'm not excited about the game. I know a lot of people are. I got to look at that game, and I got to see what it is. And right now, it looks like a futuristic Grand Theft Auto-esque type of thing. I wonder how much playtime you need to get on Game Pass to get credit. I don't know we don't know if that's the deal though, Jones. We don't know if the Game Pass pays them based on the amount of time they played or if they just get paid. Mo says South of Midnight story, music, art. They could win Game of the Year is Split Fiction. Period. Yeah, I don't think South of Midnight gets a nomination for Game of the Year, but I think they do get nomination for other things. Titan says, remember Callisto Protocol? Dead Space devs? Yeah. One doesn't sell the other to me. Right? Hell, ex-Bungie devs made Concord. There you go. Robert Jones says, I miss the old days of multiplayer shooters that told you how many users were online. Fortnite does it. Fortnite tells you exactly how many people are online and what they're playing on, in what room they're playing in. Do you know why they do it? Because they know they have millions and millions and millions of people playing it. So they're okay showing the numbers. They're not asking Steam to take down numbers, right? They're not asking people to remove numbers. You can see how many people are playing Lego Fortnite right now. You can see how many people are playing Reload or Ballistics or the regular Battle Royale. Krebsy Gaming says, comparing to Indiana Jones, Redfall, and Hellblade 2, all games under the same conditions of Steam Game Pass and all have higher player counts than South of Midnight. Right. Starfield did really well, but apparently they don't think it did very well. South of Midnight at 800 players playing on Steam is a game of the year. I mean, it's only 400 players, so you're giving them an extra 320 players. But you can't just go by Steam, right? You can't just go by Steam. If the game, let's put it this way, Roadkill. If the game cost less than $50 million to make, I don't know what it is. I'm just saying a number. $50 million to make. Okay, so let me get a calculator out real fast. My brain's not ready for this. Okay, so let's say it costs $50 million. That's the budget of South of Midnight. And what's the price of it? It goes for $50. I think that's what it's going for. It's going for $49.99. Is that what it's going for? Okay, they got to sell 1 million copies. Right? 1 million copies. So 1 million copies at $50. Game Pass, let's say, I don't know, 10 million to 15 million people try it on Game Pass. Okay? So 15 million people. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 15 million people try it on Game Pass, right? Times $20. That's $300 million. That's $300 million. That's at 15. Let's just say 5 million people tried it, right? 5 million people tried it at the $20. That's $100 million. That's $100 million, right? So they don't have to. So if you keep the budget down and put it on Game Pass, and then people only get Game Pass for that month for the $20 for the day and date drops. Yes, there's other games coming out. Are they playing those other games? Sure. Or they just get it and cancel. Right? Games that are under budget or below a certain threshold will do very well on Game Pass because they don't have to sell 5, 6, 7 million copies. They can sell 250,000 copies. Bishop Void says they definitely haven't shown enough of Mind's Eye to know anything, and it comes out in a few months. Right, and that's a red flag as well. That's a red flag as well. This game's coming out soon, and we know nothing of it. That's not me wanting to hate the game. That's me being cautious and going, I don't know anything about that game, and you're showing me like a trailer of a movie, right? You're trying to hype it up to get me excited about it, and then tell me that from the developers of Rockstar. It's like, okay, cool. Right? When everyone argues about pricing and if a game is successful or not, we need to know the budget, right? This is why when we talk about movies, we're like spot on about movies because we hear about what the budget costs, right? If a movie costs $250 million to make, $300 million to make, we know what they have to make. They got to break $600 million to break even, right? They have to, because they spend about the same, if not as much, or a little bit more, okay, on marketing for movies to get them out there, right? And I worked in the film industry for 20 years. I know exactly how that works, right? I haven't worked in the video game industry, but I would assume it's pretty damn close from making a video game and the budgeting of the video games. It just takes longer. What takes us 6 months to 18 months to making a movie, they make in 4 years, 5 years, okay? Then they have to sell that thing. Well, then they have to market that thing. I know marketing. I know what it costs to make marketing. I know what they charge for marketing. Robert Jones says, when everyone's arguing, I'm like, it's all fake news. Time will tell. Oh, time always tells them what it's going to be. And when you read, if you just read one article, you're like, cool. But when you start reading one article and then you read another article and you read another article from this person and you start piecing together things, you're like, something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. And when you see the report after report after report saying the same garbo, you're like, but most people don't do that. We see it more than everybody else because we read multiple articles. We see multiple things. If you're just a person that's just going to read for that day one article, like you open up the New York Times, and whatever the New York Times tells you, you're like, well, that must be true, right? And you're reading VGC or you're reading IGN or whatever the hell it is, and that's the only thing you read. You're like, that's it. Nobody cares. I shouldn't say nobody cares. A vast majority don't care because they're not going to dive deeper into who owns what organization, right? IGN owns, 12 different publications of stuff out there? Right? And then the person that owns them owns something else, and then they own other things, right? Nobody does that. They just take it for face value. Not me. Not me. Krebsy, they count down the downloads someone's playing in Game Pass. They literally never have to open the game. Well, right. They don't have to open the game because there's paying customers for Game Pass. They don't care if they open up that game or they open up the other 150 games that are on Game Pass. So they just assume that, this many people. Alton says, he said the sales on Blue Sky, how much validity does someone that uses Blue Sky have? Does he have the sales numbers? Alton? Does he have the actual sales numbers or just the tweet that I showed? Sorry, no. Okay. Look, on my particular channel, we just cover news stories. I show you the news stories. I put the articles in the description down below. You can read them yourselves. And I just give you my thoughts and opinions on them. My thoughts and opinions are not the right or wrong way. But at the same time, I try to give you validation of why I come up with what I say. I try to tell you why, my thought process. You don't have to agree with me. Right? That's just the way it is. Yeah, if they showed actual sales numbers, I would have no issue with what they speak of. But they don't say that. Dune Awakening got delayed from May 20th to June 10th. For what? What's the reason? Is it tariffs? Is it because of the tariffs? because of the tariffs. What'd you put here, Krubsy? 1 year later, Skull and Bones is finally becoming the pirate game we all wanted. Yeah. Imagine coming out of a game and then waiting 12 to 18 months. Man, it's like it literally is like I'm psychic. Nintendo has shipped 1.1 million Switch 2s to North America. Yeah, I saw an article saying that they're going to put about 100 Nintendos in each of the GameStops, which is actually pretty interesting. But Nintendo's always done this. Nintendo always puts a small amount out and then make a false, like, out of supply type of thing, high supply or high demand, low supply, to make people rampant type of stuff. Nintendo's very good at this stuff. That's what they do. They do this on purpose. Yeah, they do this on purpose. Because they said they want to sell, I think in the worldwide, if I'm not mistaken, 14 million the first year or something like that. Which is basically what the Wii U sold in its entire existence. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Yeah. So a forecast for Nintendo Switch 2 will sell 14.7 million units in 2025. That's what they're trying to go for. Okay. The forecast is 14.7 million units in 2025. It would also put it ahead of the original Switch first year sales, which reached 13.4 million units. I don't know. I think they fall short of this. I'm going to say it'll sell around like 11. I think there's a lot of people that, one, won't go for the upgrade. They'll stay where they are. I think a lot of people that were going to buy one, it's too pricey for them right now. And there needs to be more games come out before they buy it. For the mass market. Junior says, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2, or the new Switch. Argus says 1.1 million Switch 2s going to do in the U.S. That's nothing. Based off the message for Dune Awakening delay, it sounds like it's due to feedback from the closed beta. Okay. You better get on that, Jones. You better get on that. FOMO. You still need to play Mario Sunshine. We could spoil it for you any second. We could tell you the ending of that. Yeah, I want it for Donkey Kong and the GameCube Pokemon game. Yeah, my thing is, I didn't buy the Switch 1 until 2.5 years after it came out. So I'm in no rush of getting a new system. Right? I'll let you guys test it out for me. You guys pay the high prices. You guys, break the Joy-Cons, smash the screens, send it to Nintendo, see what they do for replacement parts. You guys test it for me. You be the beta testers, and then 2.5 years later, when they put the OLED out, maybe I'll pick it up then. Spoiler, Jones. Nintendo should sell the first 10 million Switches for like 1,000, which would exclude the early access. Hold for the OLED. Yeah, it's going to come out. Titan, do you not think it's not going to come out in 2027? 2027? You don't think it's going to come out with the OLED? Are you telling me they couldn't figure a way? They're like, we just can't understand how to get the small screen of the OLED from the first Switch over on the new Switch. We just can't do it. No, they're like, why don't we take the OLED off, play the regular one, put that out there for 2 years. Let's charge big prices for that one, and then we'll do it 2 years later. Of course they are. You put this down. Like I'm probably one of the only people to say this. If they drop the price, and I stand by this, if they drop the price where it's $350, $400, the Switch 2 completely destroys this number that they wanted to sell, 14.7. Okay, it would sell 20 million units. Okay, but they would get less money for each system, right? They might actually lose money on the system, but they would make money off the software and the online service of the $50 where you have the cuck button on there, right? You got that cuck button on there, right? If they sold it for less, like they used to do, they used to lose money. Why? Because they had to get you in the ecosystem. See, now they feel like, now they got you, right? The drug dealer has you. They gave you the free sample. They gave you the small family discounted price. And now they're like, nah, full price. Because now you're addicted, okay? And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to get as much money from the fans up front as possible because they've already justified it for themselves. They're like, yeah, it's got the new system. It's got the stuff that they've upgraded. It's totally worth what it is. Okay? They start justifying it to themselves. They start going, well, games back in 1990, that's what they used to cost, right? You justify what you justify. I say this to my wife all the time. Justify whatever you want. If you want to buy the thing, right? You don't need to justify it to me. If you want to buy something, buy it. Okay? You don't need to tell me, well, we're doing this, we're doing that, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should wait. You want to buy something, buy it. Okay? You don't need to justify it. Right? All these people have to justify it. Well, the Nintendo Switch cost this much back in the day, and then with inflation and all this stuff, do you want to buy the fucking thing? Then buy it. Okay? Don't suck the plastic dick of the corporations because of it. If you like the game, buy the game. If you like the system, buy the system. Don't start going, well, I'm justifying it to myself because, well, it if they did this, then it would be okay. And, and then they have this game coming out and just buy it. Right? You get trash defenders that like to defend the stuff because they don't want to feel offended because they spent their hard-earned money on the thing that you don't like. Imagine that, right? Mo says all the time, chew your own food, right? Because you buy a Nintendo Switch 2 system for the price that it is, and I don't want to buy it because I think it's too much money, is not saying that you're an idiot for buying it, right? My finances are my finances, your finances are your finances, and if you are okay with buying that, then go ahead and buy it. First 48 says, I'm never pressing the button since it has the nickname. You're gonna hit the cuck button by accident. 48. You're gonna be like, damn, by accident, you're gonna hit with the thumb because it's free. 10 months. They're giving it to you for free for 10 months to get you acclimated with it. Okay, you're gonna hit it by accident. Go, God damn it, 30, I hit the cuck button. Ray says the GameCube had amazing games and it was the cheapest console ever. Yet it failed terribly. So did the Wii U. The Wii U failed worse. Worse. Do you know why? You know why GameCube failed? Is because they decided to make the small discs. Like, we're gonna be different. Everyone's using regular discs. We're gonna use a smaller disc.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
Inflation argument is poor argument. I got a Virtual Boy and all the games in my basement from when I was a kid. Nice. We have all our systems. The only system I don't own, actually, there's two systems I don't own. The two systems I don't own still I don't own my original Xbox because I traded it in for a 360. Okay, and I don't own a PlayStation 3. Okay, because I traded that in. Did I trade that in? Yeah, we traded in for. I forget what we traded it in for, but I traded it in. I never used it. I never used it. That's why I put the right there because they know it's going to actually get hit. Yeah, and then it's going to pop up and it's going to ask you need to sign in for an account. They made a small disc so you couldn't pirate back then, right? Because the regular disc you could pirate it. Hence why the Sega Dreamcast I have 1,100 games on one disc. I'm sure if you knew how to do it, Sarge, most people would do it, but it wasn't widely known. Yeah, Ray says it. Here you go. Let's be honest. It took longer for GameCube to be able to play the pirate games. Cutler says stop. In the name of what? What do you want me to do? Stop. Stop what? Oh, yeah, you can pirate the games now, Sarge. There's people that emulated the whole fucking Nintendo Switch. Eclipse says it's crazy 30. I bet that we can get a Skull and Bones for like $10 now, and has the land combat. What do you know? Which is funny to me is, what about inflation? What about inflation? Last year, Skull and Bones was like $100, wasn't it? $100, $80. Where's the inflation? How could it be inflation if I get it for $10? Yeah, it could be at least $105 now. First where he says Donkey Kong. I haven't even been in the fascinated with the trailer, and the gameplay is in a long time. I can't remember the last time I played a Donkey Kong game. $350 for it. Yeah, sorry. That's right, Sarge. For some reason, inflation doesn't affect things that no value. It's weird. It's weird. 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 We should get that clip. Weird. Yeah. Inflation only works on things that when it justifies your conversation. Well, the Nintendo Switch is more expensive now because of inflation. Video games are more now because of inflation. Amazing. What was another game that came out? Can I at least do the sound bite? Can we do the sound bite? Argus says, well, there's plenty of things that's around the gaming prices that make an inflation argument sound stupid. The people that say that, though, Argus, are only saying that reason because they want to justify it for themselves why they're buying it, right? That's the only reason. Roadkill says, if you get that clip, replace her head with a giant zit popping. I don't want to see her wretched Sigler. All right. We won't do it. Are you telling me our wages are equally not valuable? This is why we're not getting the rise? There's a lot of things going on, but there's the people that solely say that the reason for this is inflation. Reminds me. My brother-in-law said a joke the other day. Right, I had a flat tire. This is a bad joke, by the way. Okay, it caught me off guard when he said this. Okay, he said, "Where'd you get your tire filled?" I said, "I had to go pay $2.50 at the pump because it was flat." He goes, you know why they're charging that, right? I said, no. It's robbery. He goes, no, because of inflation. It's true story, by the way. True story. Argus says physical games cost a fraction to produce and sell way more people in the games in the 80s and 90s, therefore making way more, and they're also still getting full physical payment prices for digital. Sarge says you guys don't understand gaming industry grew exponentially during the physical copy years with renting games and the game stopped selling games second and third hand over and over. Think about that. Robert Jones got a sense of humor. It got you. It got you, Jones. Yeah. He actually said that. When he said that, it took me a split second. He's like, you know why they charge those prices, right? I'm like, no, it's highway robbery. And he says because of inflation. And I went, oh God. I was like, that's bad. And I started laughing. B says, I think Borderlands 3 was better within the first 2 weeks upon release. All the broken builds and guns, just more fun, like the Gallahorn era. We're really enjoying, me and Sarge are both enjoying. He's playing it more than I am, but we played it last night. We played it last week. We played it over the weekend. I'm really enjoying Borderlands 3. I don't really care about the story. I really like the ridiculousness of the guns. And just the gunplay is fun. Gunplay is fun. The areas are fun. Sarge says, sorry, I missed it. Still fun right now. Yeah. And that's just point proven that you don't have to get the game day one. Was it 5 years later? We're still playing it? Now we're playing it? Krebsy Gaming says, last Donkey Kong I played was Jungle Beat with the bongo drum controller. That was like 08. Oh, God, I totally forgot about that. Eclipse says, so why when I have a $20 bill that is from the 5 years ago, it's still $20? I don't get it. What about inflation? What time is it? We got 12. Look at that. Look at that. I still went to 12:30. Still went to 12:30. I didn't see a tweet. Is there a tweet? Modern devs really has it hard when they have to compete against the great games we had for over 40 years. Yeah, Ray, you don't even have to. I'm not saying this to be like, fuck the new games, but we have so many games that I haven't tried or played. Okay, that I could go back and get them on sale. I can go back of games that I already own. We can constantly play our games that are fantastic games. I would rather go back and play like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Mass Effect series than get a brand new game that I have to wait 18 months to complete. We don't ever have to buy a brand new game again, right? And when you do this, right, look at what the developer from Concord said about Marathon. He's like, please don't judge that game because of our mistakes. No, we judged your game on your mistakes. Concord was bad. We judged it on that. Marathon, for what we've seen, doesn't look exciting for a lot of people, and those people are telling you that it's not exciting. So we don't need to buy a brand new extraction shooter because Escape from Tarkov's been here since 2016. Right? Why do I need to buy a new game when I'm already satisfied with the game I have? Right? This is why single-player games are great, because they're only competing against themselves, right? It's a new story, right? And it's a self-contained story. That's it. Okay? Sure, they're competing against your money. So if like 5 single-player games come out at the same time, but this game is different than this game, and this game is different than this game because they're not battle royales. They're not PvP, right? It's like skinned differently. Robert Jones says inflation is why you don't want to keep your money sitting in a no-interest savings account. Sarge says, please, please Google inflation and how it is caused. Inflation only has to do with the amount of printed money in the circulation. This is a general hard currency, is a belief system. Krebsy says, don't allow companies to clap your cheeks. That's right. Just because you make product, just because I make a show every day, doesn't mean you're going to show up. And if you don't show up, I don't call you misogynistic, racist, and sexist. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing. If I make a product, which is my live stream every day, 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern, if you don't show up, just know I don't think that you're sexist, racist, and misogynistic. I just think you got other things to do. Ginger Prime says, we call you that. B says, Borderlands 3 is good now. Agreed. But it's like when I done steak good enough. First 2 weeks it releases, it was a mess. Rare. BJ for Desert. But they also don't judge you, your old boys. But that's the problem with gaming right now, B, right? 5 years ago when the game came out, it was a mess. We're playing 5 years later, and now it's good. Why do I need to buy a game day one? Why do I need to buy a game day one? Why do I need to buy a game year one? No Man's Sky, better now than it was when it came out. Starfield, better now than it came out. Outlaws, better now than it came out. Battlefield, better now than it came out. Cyberpunk, better now than it came out. Why do you need to Switch 2 for Pokemon? So it will actually run at solid 30 frames per second. Roka says, you're a dumbass if you don't show up. I appreciate that. Wait. If they don't show up. If I show up, am I a dumbass? B says, you guys bought Destiny 1, Destiny Day 1. It was great. It's awful now. Well, let's be honest. Destiny Day 1 was worse than year 3 of Destiny 1, right? Destiny was better 2.5 years in, 3 years in, than it was on day 1. Krebsy says, art style is what hurts Marathon. It looked more like Deep Stone Crypt on Europa and Beyond Light for Destiny 2. I think reception would have been better. See, I try to look at it a different way, Krebsy. I think the art style is going to make it stick out. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think the art style makes it stick out. It makes you remember it. And I think if the gameplay is fun, if the gameplay is good and the loop is good, people will the art style will grow on them. Perfect example, okay? Minecraft. When Minecraft came out, people were like, I don't like this, right? But the gameplay of Minecraft is awesome, right? And because it's awesome and the loop is fun and it's very creative, people forget about what the art style looks like, of what it is. They're like, it's fine. And then they can sell you stuff later to make it look better, the shaders and whatnot, right? I think the reason Marathon looks the way it does is because it's easier for them to create the characters, the worlds. They're not as detailed and edgy or whatnot. You'll remember it as a gamer, and then they can sell you better looking gear afterwards. Just my thoughts. Sarge says, no reason to buy game day 1. 0 reasons. I have thousands of games a month to choose from. There was 2 games that came out at the same time. I bought one, full price, the other at 80% off. I played the 80% off one before the full price one. It's because you're brokey. You're a brokey, Ray. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Marathon would be the success if it was made by indie devs. But those are devs who also have sold themselves over $2 billion of Sony. That's actually not a bad take there, Ray. Right? Marathon would be a success if it was the way it looked now, but independent developer. But because it's such a high, I could see that. That's a good take, right? Because Marathon's made by this huge conglomerate company, I called it a minimal viable product. I called it a minimal viable product yesterday. Right? I didn't really watch it this weekend. We talked about it big yesterday. I said it's a minimal viable product, especially after that interview with Joe Ziegler. Didn't you guys Diablo 4 on release? It was awful. Now 2. I played the story. I thought it was good, but it is better now, right? Right? By day 1, it'll be better. Space Marines 2 has another update, right? So Space Marine 2, regardless of how good it was when it came out, is a better game now than it was when it launched. There's more in the game now than when it launched, so it's a better game now. Isn't Game Pass a subscription, money subscription to your paying your masters? You're paying them anyway, though. If you want to play a video game, you don't own that video game anymore, B. I mean, I guess you could go buy a game as long as it doesn't have needs internet connection or anything like that. It's across the board. If it's Ubisoft, EA, PlayStation Plus, Game Pass, buying digital. Roadkill says, once you accept being poor and embrace it, life is amazing. I agree. Sarge says, Game Pass is now Xbox Live, so there is no one who can say who says they don't have Game Pass. Yeah, because even the lower tiers got something. $12.30. If you pay for online for Xbox, you have Game Pass, or you have a somewhat of Game Pass, right? What is the lowest tier of Game Pass? Let me see. Let's see. That's PC Game Pass. If I join now. Okay, PC. Right, you get first 14 days for $1, then $12. Ultimate's $20. Okay. Console, you get Core. Okay, $10. Subscription continues automatically. Right? You have to have Core to have online, correct? Game Pass Standard is $10. Standard is $15. Core is $10. It gives you 5 or 10 Game Pass games to play. Right, for $10. That's still a good deal. You get 25 high-qualified games on console, online console multiplayer, and member deal discounts. Right? Then you got 15, then you have 20. Or you can get both for 20. Krebsy says, Marathon successful short-term, but won't last long-term. New shooters need multiple entry points and deep systems. Marathon doesn't have the entry points and took away the depth games like Tarkov has. But because they know they're going for the broader audience. This is why I said that what Bungie's trying to do with the extraction shooter is they're trying to do what Elden Ring did for the Souls, right? Dark Souls and all Bloodborne, all those sold well, but Elden Ring sold 25 million copies. They broadened the audience. They made it more casual for everybody else, and that's why they bought it. That's what they're trying to do with an extraction. They know that the extraction is a niche community, and they're trying to broaden that by making it more approachable. My bad, I had the wrong name. So you can't. Okay, so 48. You have an Xbox and you have a PlayStation, right? Or you just have an Xbox. I think you said you had all three, right? So you don't pay for online for Xbox then? Because if you're not paying, then you don't have online. And what Sarge is saying is that if you pay for online, you automatically have Game Pass, which is 100% correct, right? You have the core of 25 games for the price of $10. You're saying, no, you don't have it because you don't have online. And if you're not playing online, well, then that's why you don't have it. But if you did pay the $10, then you would have it. Is there another thing that you're buying to just get online? So are you paying separate for Xbox Online? Live or whatever it is? He said everyone has Game Pass. I said I do not. But you also don't. Everyone has Game Pass if you have online. He said if you have Xbox Live, everyone has Game Pass is what he said. He says Game Pass is now on Xbox Live. So there's no one who says they don't have Game Pass. If you have Xbox Live, then you have Game Pass. That is what Sarge is saying. I don't use my Xbox at all. I'm waiting to be traded in. Why are we having this conversation? If you're not playing on Xbox, then why the fuck are we opening our mouth and talking about that you're not playing on Xbox? Obviously, I don't drive a Ferrari. Everyone that has a car doesn't have a Ferrari because I don't own a Ferrari. Okay? If you have Xbox and you're paying for Live, you have Game Pass. That's what Sarge was saying. If you're playing on Xbox, you have to have Live to play online. And if you're not playing on Xbox with Live, then you don't have Game Pass because you're not paying for Game Pass. Are you in those countries? Or are you one of these people that make an article and it's the best-selling game on Tuesday, right? You're arguing for people that if you have Live, it's part of Game Pass. I'm pretty sure gold doesn't exist anymore. You could play free-to-play games, Z. That's not what Sarge said is if you have Live, you have Game Pass. The chat is basically door-to-door addicts. Then complain at the fees. Yeah, gold doesn't exist. That's what I understand. Gold doesn't exist. So here's an argument, right? I just want to put this out here, First 48, because you sound so ridiculous every time you say a statement that you actually don't understand, okay? Xbox Live Gold no longer is available for purchase. It was replaced by Xbox Game Pass Core on September 14th, 2023. While Xbox Live Gold members automatically transition to Game Pass Core, new purchases are no longer possible. Xbox.com states that Game Pass Core includes access to online console multiplayer and library for over 25 games. So please explain to me, no, it doesn't exist anymore. Gold doesn't exist anymore. They canceled all of it in 2023. Yeah, it doesn't exist. There is no gold anymore. Like day after day, you come in this hour, the chat, and I love that you're here, right? But you're like Travis, the sequel. Travis, when he first got into this channel 2 years ago, was exactly what you're doing. I honestly think what Krebsy's saying, you might be the alternate of Travis. Travis, is this you? Because the day after day you say stuff and it doesn't make sense. It's so weird. And you're like you beat this drum and like want to die on this hill, and then we show you stuff and you're like, yeah. I'm so confused. You're telling me I can't find gold subs right now. Look it up. I did. What? The goalpost is completely shattered. Xbox does not offer gold anymore. Gold is live, which is core. Xbox Live Gold is core. Core is the minimum, $10. If you have core, you have Game Pass. Where's the TVA? Krusty says, thoughts on Elden Ring? Argus says, just embrace the past, chat. $2. Thank you. Thank you for $2. Argus, Game Pass is calling you. $2 chat. Another one. Thank you. Z says 30. Yes, it is possible to use Xbox Live Gold, now part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate in other countries, but it's important to understand that the new nonsense, while you can technically redeem codes, become one with Game Pass, chat. $2. Argus with another $2 super chat. Thank you, Argus. Unsubscriptions from other regions, certain limitations apply. Somebody use a VPN, see if gold is being sold without Game Pass. Let's see. Xbox Live Gold. Here I've made online purchases from Xbox.com before. Okay, you can get 12 months gold. It says, looking for enhanced your gaming experience, your Xbox consoles, look for no further than Xbox Live 12-month gold membership. With a subscription, you can gain access to the world of online multiplayer gaming, exclusive discounts, free monthly games, and much more. So gold still gets you Game Pass, right? It gets you online. It gets you 12 months of gold membership, is a subscription to gain online multiplayer gaming, exclusive discounts, and free. So maybe it's not Game Pass. Did Xbox get rid of 12-month gold? The end of it, yes. So I don't know if you buy these things off the internet, if you're actually going to get an actual thing. 2 free games per month, as well as 50% off on select games on Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. Maybe they still have the Xbox Live Gold for the older systems of Xbox One. Maybe. I don't know. Argus with the $2. Says Game Pass will love you like your parents didn't. $2. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. You'll get a conversion to Game Pass. Yep, if your payments type is outside the U.S., whatever. Next. My question is, why would you buy this right here? Why would you buy 12 months of EA Play when to play their games you have to have online? And if you're playing that on Xbox, then you might as well get unlimited Ultimate because you get all the games. All I get to get converted to the Game Pass Tier 1. They don't even offer Xbox Live Gold on current gen consoles anymore. They rolled all of them fools over. They're because of options, and we know that many of us are clowns. Yeah, so the gold doesn't exist on the new systems. It's only on for the older systems because the older systems can't play the newer games and stuff. Ray says, "Did you talk about the I'm assuming that's Star Wars XCOM game. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. We don't know much about it, but it's what is it called? Star Wars Zero Company. We talked about it a little bit. I'm not excited for it. I gotta hear. I gotta see what it is as far as the eras of what characters you're using. If it's just like the Mando, where you're like Bo-Katan and like the new stuff in the Mando era, then I'm not excited. If I can play that game and it's different eras, so like Luke and Darth Vader and the Emperor and all that stuff, then I would be excited. If it's just newer stuff and like somewhat ridiculous, not ridiculous characters, but not as popular characters, I'm not going to be excited for it, Ray. Yeah, I'm hoping, because I do like games like that. I really enjoyed I love XCOM. I love Marvel's Midnight Suns. Star Wars game I would be okay with if there was more to it. Now, again, if they're going to bring in, like they did for was it called Hunters, Star Wars Hunters, where it's like generic characters and it wasn't like the big characters, it's going to fail. I understand that Star Wars and Disney wants to like try to push the new stuff to us, but the old people don't want the new stuff. We want the old stuff. And the new people don't even want the new stuff. Ray says, I hope they make us make our own characters like XCOM. I don't like playing tactical games with named characters. I'm okay if it's named characters as long as they're because I think that would be interesting if I could like bring Han and Han dies in the thing, or Luke or whatever, and I lose him. Like, I'm okay with that. All right, I gotta go. It's 12:50. I'll read this last thing from Argus. It says, so you can go out of your way to find obscure ways to get Xbox Live Gold by using old consoles and countries like Lithuania. Congratulations. Nobody cares about those individuals. They're irrelevant to the current market, and they're still on gold. Quest says Clone Wars era. It looks like it's not Clone Wars era. It looks like it's Bo-Katan in Mando era, which would be after Return of the Jedi, which I'm not totally against as long as there's other characters. But the picture that we saw, it showed, and they said there's like Ahsoka's in there, Bo-Katan's in there. I don't know if it looked like the guy from I forget the character's name from Andor, but like there's characters from there as well. I don't know if that's the only section it's in. It's like telling a story just for that, or if it's just a tactical type of thing. I'm not sure. Hopefully, it's more characters. I don't want them the era past Empire or past Return of the Jedi. I would rather it first 6, not between 6 and 7. We need some Clone Wars era games or new Star Wars era. I don't know why. Like, how do you not, like, right now, if I was Star Wars, and I got to go after this. If I was Star Wars, okay, look at Helldivers, make a Star Wars Helldivers. Bad Batch type of thing. You're a small group of people going into battle, right? Star Wars, clone troopers, right? Do it up. Vote to change Solomon's name, right? Like, you got to capitalize on certain things. I would like another Republic Commando game. The Republic Commando game back in the day was a great game. There's so much story and games just from the Clone War era quest that they could make. Force heal, force dash, force mind manipulation, a tactical game. Yeah, that, like, I hope it's not just a, you know, I'm a Mando, I'm a smuggler type of stuff. But we'll see. All right. That's going to do it for me today. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight to play more video games. I don't know what we're playing. We might play some more Borderlands tonight. We might play a different game tonight. If I don't see you tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming, I'll see you back here tomorrow on 30 NSG for the Daily Grind. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The Daily Grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the Daily Grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The Daily Grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning fix. Your morning